dead yet.
Oh yeah?
I haven't thanked you.
Xenoblade Chronicles is my favourite series in gaming. Ever since I first tried Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition in 2020, I've been deeply obsessed with this series, as something about it resonated with me. In all its grandeur, Xenoblade is a series of great scale, huge titans locked in a war, a giant tree in an endless cloud ocean, and the fusion of these two worlds. Xenoblade 3 promised to be a culmination of the first two numbered entries, and it absolutely delivered, but what makes Xenoblade 3 work so well is that its identity isn't just a marriage of 1 and 2, in fact it has its own unique identity that marries the themes and tones of the two to make what might be the most compelling romance. Romance is at the core of every Xenoblade game deep down. Shulk and its quest for Fiora, Rex and Pyro's literal soul bond, and Jin's deep care for Laura. Relationships being the core of the series makes sense for a series like Xenoblade, that is all about bonds being forged in order to make a better future. Each game tackles that idea differently, but with Xenoblade 3, romance and relationships are far more intertwined within the narrative. I'm not going to sit here and try to argue to you why Noah and Mia's relationship is at the core of the story, as if you're watching this you are a Xenoblade fan who already knows this, so what's the point? Well, if you're watching this having not played Xenoblade 3, firstly I deeply recommend you play it and maybe save this video for later, but if you have no interest and you don't care for spoilers, maybe this video will convince you to experience it for yourself. While Noah and Mia are the main characters of Xenoblade 3, and their romance is at the very core of the story, it's actually N and M's romance that I think makes for the narrative structure of Xenoblade 3. Noah and Mia are younger reflections of a long-soured relationship corrupted by an unfair system. The first time Noah and Mia meet each other, they are on two different sides of the world. Instantly, they and the other members of their party instantly attack each other. It's not out of malice or personal vendetta, but out of necessity, out of survival. However, there's a very clear difference in how Noah and Mia fight compared to the way Uni and Tyon fight, or even Nans and Senna do. While there is that animosity, there is that underlying sense of respect between the two instantly established. They don't know it yet, but they are very similar people and have a similar mentality about their situation. And both being Offseers share a certain rhythm. The two clash in a way that's uniquely paralleled, as they are seemingly equally matched and can instantly tell what the other is about to do. Eventually Noah gets the upper hand on Mio because he figures out that Mio's rhythm in her fighting matches the Agnes off-seeing arrangement. Their fight is like a dance. It's their combined doubt of the way of this world. Both Noah and Mio don't really believe in the system and don't believe in the necessity of killing others, something that has brainwashed even Lance, who celebrates the victory over Agnes and doesn't hesitate in trying to actually kill these Agnes soldiers because he believes they're evil and don't see the fact that it's literally looking into it like a mirror. After the events of the meeting of the two parties ends with the death of Guernica Van Dam, Noah takes out his flute and starts off-seeing. Mio joins. The two, with their combined music from opposite sides of the war, show compassion and respect. In that moment, there is a clear spark and an unspoken understanding between the two. Even the following morning, everyone else is not ready to break their preconceived notions and team up, but Noah and Mio are instantly aware of their bond. But this isn't their meet-cute. In fact, I'm not sure we know their meet-cute. Noah and Mio are the faces of Ouroboros, a rebellion of a corrupt system in which soldiers slave away and die in order to sustain a stagnated existence. However, Mobius represents a collective anxiety and a fear of change that N, and technically also M, represent. In Chapter 6 we see N's history. We figure that he is in some way related to Noah, but it's not going to prepare you for the truly devastating truth of N's past. We see Noah's signature determination turn to complete desperation as he fights the system as a part of the city. But it doesn't work. Each time Mio dies and it all becomes worthless to him. I think that it's quite important to see a distinction between the Noah we see here and the Noah we are presented with, as a vital scene sees Noah running away from the party with Mio in a desperate attempt to avoid Mio's inevitable death. He chooses to stop fighting for a better future in order to fulfill his selfish, short-sighted desire to keep Mio alive. And that's not to judge him too harshly, because anyone in that situation constantly beat down by the impossibility of keeping the love of his life alive, would go mad. It's a corrupt system, and yet Noah gives up. He runs away. He chooses to submit to a world that can't change, and a world that he can live with Mio for eternity. He doesn't care if it's corrupt or how bad it is for others, as he's completely deluded himself in believing that stagnation is actually good for everyone, and that it's worth it just to maintain a good thing in his life. He can't fathom the idea of having to deal with a life without her. It's an interesting parallel to our Noah's biggest test in the dreaded prison scene of Chapter 5, where N tortures his other self, choosing to keep him locked up until Mio's homecoming. We see Noah go to places he hadn't before in this pure determination to break out, but how hopeless the situation is. N is torturing Noah, but to what end? Because at the end of the day, Noah is a mirror of N, and by extension he is torturing himself. I think the way this game can express such complex internal struggles in a more literal sense helps it feel more impactful. N resents Noah because he is hopeful and determined to beat the system that he himself failed to break out of in a moment of selfishness. To N, Mobius is impossible to defeat, and so watching another version of himself attempt it angers him. He is so deeply delusional about his choice that he doesn't want a better version of himself to do what he couldn't. He's essentially trying to break his other self by giving him even just an ounce of his own pain. Of course, when Mio's homecoming comes around and it seems Mio is gone, Noah and N find out that M and Mio had swapped places, and the Mio that N had ordered to be killed right in front of Noah's face was in fact the Mio that he betrayed his friends and betrayed his morals in order to stay with forever. His own plan backfired as he breaks down and wonders why she would do this to him. Well, the reason why is also the reason why Noah and Mio exist in a world where N and M also do. Their Mobius transition stops the chain, or at least should. Their placement in Ionios is very much intentional and is a message. M is deeply unhappy in her relationship. On the side of N, she just exists eternally, but not with the man she fell in love with. N is a shell of his former self. By betraying his morals and values, he no longer has the fire within him and has sunk to the lows that M just can't stand anymore. Their relationship has stagnated. It has frozen in time and has been deeply guarded in order to prevent any change in case it all blows up or M has to die. N and M and their relationship is a direct parallel to Xenoblade 3's core premise of Ionios, a frozen fusion of the Bionis Mechonis and Allrest, created from a fear of the unknown. While on a more literal level, Xenoblade 3 is about these two worlds merging, and its core themes of war, capitalism, and life itself, I'd argue at its core, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is all about the destruction of Noah and Mia's relationship, and a last-ditch effort to save it. Noah and Mio and their placement in this world in relation to N and M absolutely serves as a cold reminder of their early days. Noah and Mio's relationship is deeply compelling because these two flames intertwine so seamlessly from the very start. They share morals and values, but also a curiosity about them. They don't inherently believe in the systems they're brought upon. And they have a certain agency as they act as overseers, a role that is looked down on in a way as unnecessary. Both Noah and Mio have experienced the loss of a close friend or a mentor that gave them their agency within a rigid system. But the truth is, neither actually have a proper agency, and it distresses them both. When the two of them interlink for the first time, they are shown each other's memories, and that allows them to understand each other on a much deeper level. But it also gives them the physical power to tackle their oppressors and fight for a better future. That power allows them to face their other selves more directly, and it's, as M intended, a Hail Mary to get her, Noah, back to her, and to fix their relationship. N and M are the same people as Noah and Mio, just at different stages. As soon as M swaps with Mio and allows herself to finally die, she becomes one with Mio, Ouroboros and Mobius together. N takes a while to wake up and continues to romanticize a broken, toxic relationship before he works on himself and regains his morals. But when he does, at the end of the game, he also fuses with Noah. that war between Noah and N is really an internal fight about control and agency. N believes that he made the right choice and he is ignoring his actions as he sees them as a means to an end. But seeing Noah doing what he used to do is essentially like looking into a mirror of how he used to be and loathing it out of pure denial and envying it with how he had everything he could ever want, and it was ultimately thrown away because of the choice to become N. In the end, their fates are quite similar. Noah and Mio are separated once they defeat Zed, as they are forced to accept change and face the unknown result of the two universes' collision and separation. It's important that the game makes sure that we know that the concept of Mobius is ultimately within us somewhere, and it's not bad to feel scared of change or have anxiety for the future. Their success, however, is only thanks to N and M, that separate from Noah and Mio, and together sacrifice their lives to defeat Zed. In that moment, N is redeemed as he finally understands his greater purpose, that he is with M now, and that's all that matters. It's about the smaller moments in the journey rather than staying stagnated, and so the two of them, hand in hand, die together for a better future. Mio fought for her relationship with Noah to stop being frozen in time because of home truths that are too scary to bear and too much fear of stuff changing, him losing her. But what he needed was a reminder of how he used to be, and eventually he accepted that change, and it made for the greatest love story in gaming. So, what do you think of Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Do you agree with my take on the relationship between N and M, and how it feels like a very intentionally meta take on a broken romance, a broken relationship that needed fixing? Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is absolutely one of my favourite games of all time, and if you haven't played it, I've just spoiled the shit out of it, but I still would recommend it. It's an incredible game. So I hope you enjoyed my little video essay here. Any feedback would be appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.